Well, let's discuss all this further now in the internal situation and dynamics in Iran with Mostafa Khoshchechem, who's a professor at the University of Applied Sciences in Tehran and is joining us from the Iranian capital. Professor Khoshchechem, thank you so much for being with us. So we are seeing again hundreds of thousands on the streets chanting, as we heard from our correspondent there, death to America, death to Israel, and calling for revenge. How should foreign governments read this funeral? What message is Iran's leadership wanting to send here?
Hello, Felia. Thanks for having me. Well, I believe the message is very much clear. The Iranians are not going to be fooled by talks or some kind of MOU. They are awake. They know that the United States and Israeli animosity is not over. They know that no matter what happens in future, in the next few weeks or months, if a deal is signed or not, the Israeli and U.S. Hostile moves against Iran will continue through hybrid warfare in various areas of economy and sanctions, as well as cyber attacks, soft warfare, assassination, sabotage attacks, and probably in military attacks. So they are showing that they are not fed up with war and resistance. I mean, the Iranian people, they are showing that they are there to stand to the end, and they are steadfast in pursuing the Supreme Leader's goals and targets under the leadership of the new Iranian Supreme Leader.
But we have heard, Professor Khoshchechem, of a split within Iran between the pragmatic conservatives who argue that survival will require ending the hostilities with the U.S. and opening the economy, and those hardliners who, as you say, reject any concessions to the U.S. How real and wide is that split today?
Well, there are always some discussions and debates, hot debates everywhere in all political circles, no matter we're talking about Iran or the United States. But the strategic goal is the same. It remains the same. The two sides also share a lot. They have a lot in common. They all know that they need to stand firm against the United States. And only one party says that talks with the United States is useless. The other side says, let's give it a try and see if it works this time or not. As we are moving ahead, it's being proved that the first category are right, probably, because those that believe in the talks, they have signed an MOU. I mean, this is supported, of course, by the entire state, by the entire nation. When President Pezeshkian went there, signed a memorandum of understanding, and everyone gave him a chance to see if the United States is going to act wisely or not. But as we are moving ahead, we can see developments in Lebanon, in the Strait of Hormuz, also with regard to unfreezing Iran's blocked assets. Everything shows that the United States is moving towards a third war, and it is justifying even the pragmatics camp that talks may not work. Though we are not at the end of the road yet, still we can see some, lights in there. I mean, there are some signs showing us that the U.S. is not ready to acknowledge defeat and agree to the terms of the MOU. So the two sides are working with each other hand in hand, despite some discussions and debates and hot debates. Still, everyone is supporting the Islamic Republic's decision to be in the talks to see what happens next.
Right, and the question of what happens next is really key here. The absence, the fact that we haven't seen the Supreme Leader has raised also questions, Professor, about who really is running the country and what direction the policies are going to head. What happens then after the funeral? Is Iran going to move towards prolonged confrontation with the U.S., or is there, a need for strategic de-escalation now?
Definitely, the country is run by Ayatollah Said Mojtaba Khamenei, the Iranian new supreme leader. As the Iranian president, the Iranian parliament speaker, and top negotiator, as well as top officials, the top military brass, everyone has said repeatedly that he is the one in charge, and they pursue his agenda and goals, though there are discussions, consultations with him every day on a daily basis. But he doesn't appear in the public because everyone knows in Iran that the United States is no shy, as well as the Israelis, they are no shy of assassinating the new Iranian leader. They are angry that he has risen to power after his father. They know he is like his father, and he is steadfast in pursuing the same Islamic revolution goals and ideals. So they would leave no stone unturned to assassinate him, in assassinating him. And definitely everyone is worried about his life, even if he intends to take part in the funeral procession. Definitely the bodyguards, the military would ask him to stay there and not appear in the public. I believe that this will continue for some time. Still, he is sending his messages and policies, which are very much regarded. For future, I believe if the United States doesn't abide by the terms of this rule, of this MOU, we are going to witness a third war, which will be more devastating, more ravaging the first two. As we saw last year, there was a 12-day war. This year, it was 40-day long war, or 3-4 month long war, actually, if we consider the ceasefire period as part of the war. Sure. Since technically speaking, we are not at peace with each other yet. So the next one, this one was stronger than the last year's war, and the next will be more ravaging for not just Iran or the United States, but for the entire region. So that's why Iran is doing its best to make sure that diplomacy works, because the third round will be a catastrophic war for everyone, and not just the region, but even beyond the region.
Professor Khoshchechem, thank you so much for speaking to us and bringing us the view there from Tehran. Mostafa Khoshchechem from the University of Applied Sciences in Iran.